Hi Derv, I just spent 10 minutes trying to put on some fancy background here, but as you can see, I failed miserably. I'm a little bit perturbed about being asked to do a video about this sort of stuff in case it leads to something else. Come on now. Um, Talking about student voice in a deaf school in Limerick. It's interesting that piece that we wrote a while ago. I suppose we had to think, we had to, I suppose, quantify what we did and actually write it down. And I suppose again, without putting ourselves forward as being the experts, because we certainly are not. But I suppose it's just talking about some of the things that we do, and if we share it with people and it helps, fine, that's great. But obviously, we say this. I'm going to call it a list. Is certainly not an exhaustive one. I suppose the things that we do and lots of other people do are we engage with students on the activities that we would do in units. We have a particular interest in games in the school. I suppose being a boys' school, that is a natural thing, but we try to bring in games that the boys will like to play themselves. Hence, as we said before, that the advent of cricket and our interest in that. Obviously, we have to take into account what we have to do as prescribed by the department. But I think we're very lucky that the department provides plenty of leeway for us. I suppose student selected roles. I mean that's it's kind of I don't want to say no brainer, but it's kind of prescribed for us with the sport ed model. That works in many cases, certainly with the younger lads. You can capture them, and particular groups of the older lads will definitely engage. Um, Getting a whole year group. We have our fifth year and sixth year senior cycle P together on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. So we'll have all the sixth years on a Tuesday and all the fifth years on a Wednesday. And getting them all to engage in one activity is it's difficult. But providing a couple of different options there, and obviously then they feed into the decision making there, so because they're going to be doing it, and makes it much more enjoyable for all of us. I suppose then the level of the challenge, I think as PE teachers we do it all the time anyway, with modified games and conditioned games, or whether we play the full unabridged version. Co-creating learning goals. This is an interesting one. I'm sure again teachers do it across the gamut. Everybody does it. But getting students involved in it to we'll say we'll set up a learning outcome. We'll set up a learning outcome, and we'll ask them, right, how can we feed into that so we get their feedback before we do the activity from what experiences that they've had in the past. I suppose then use of learning intentions written in the student friendly language. We have to do that. We have to differentiate our language, because we will have so many different levels of ability, first of all, but also proficiencies in language. We regularly have kids coming into us that have no English at all. And that is, as you can imagine, a challenge, but one I suppose that we can overcome through the medium of PE. The different school-led activities, particularly with the senior lads, that they would lead warm up and cool downs. Some of them get really really good at it. We had a lad recently who he was from Ukraine. He is from Ukraine, and he did very well in the national judo championships. And he did warm up and cool down for us. That they would use in judo, and guys found it really challenging, but very very great fun. And they said, right, what else can we do? So we had all the kickboxers and all the Muay Thai lads and the traditional boxers saying that, oh, we can do that as well. So an idea that worked. I suppose then, the whole notion that the students completing exit slips. I suppose that's one that I, being a dinosaur, learned from the student teachers who come out. They have all these fantastic ways that students leave the classroom, but they're also leaving behind information, valuable information, and those things work really really well. And it's another way of including the children in the total package of the lesson, then of the block, and of the year and the experience. I've written down here. I I didn't say this. Somebody else said termly PE surveys. We do surveys. I certainly wouldn't be as regularly as termly. Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be as regularly as termly, but it can be, and I'm sure some of my colleagues would do it. Um, inclusive practice. I suppose this is an interesting one. Students suggesting adaptations to make. The one that, and I think we spoke about it, is the one for us was the badminton. We were advised in a whole school evaluation a number of years ago about having non-competitive sports. So we decided on badminton. It has taken off, and like all these things, it gets legs of its own. So now we have a badminton team, and we have successful badminton teams, but we still have the opportunity in the mornings, at lunchtimes, and even on some afternoons for the non-competitive. And that one is hugely valued by the kids, because it's their almost like safe space, but it's their space where they can come to before school, after school. It might even feed into the whole notion of Beaconalty, but it provides a safe place for them to be amongst their friends, and they're leading it, and they're loving it. Leadership, we've written down here. We have a dedicated PE sports extracurricular activity slot on the agenda for all of our for our student council meetings. And again, that was suggested by the kids. Some of our lads are very active in Corlin and Oak, so they suggested that this would be a great idea. They suggested it to us, we acted upon it, and away we go. Look, the video's gone on. Derv asked me to do 2 minutes. I'd talk forever. Most of it is rubbish, but I suppose the whole notion of the student voice links in with well-being, and they're feeling that they can connect with us, and they can ask us for something, feedback or feed forward into what we're doing, and then see an outcome so that their opinion is valued. And I think that's probably the most important thing for us, because with the advent of so many, our situation where so many cultures are joining in our school, we have to be aware of all of them, and we have to be respectful of all of them for it to work long term. So maybe apologies for the for the way this is presented, but those are just a few of the things that we would do. If it helps anybody, be delighted. Thanks a million.